Hi, this is Marky from Marky Plays War Games. This is me. I'm going to talk to you a bit about Mantic because I've just seen the video of Ronnie Renton talking to Warren from Beasts of War. Talking about Kings of War and talking about their new dungeon crawler. Now we're going to go on. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Kings of War to begin with. Just to bring people into the fold, Kings of War is a fantasy mass battle game. It's about big armies and big battles and dwarves versus elves versus undead versus, there's a wealth of depth of stuff going on there, and it's gonna be just accentuated with what Mantic are gonna be doing with Kings of War. In August, Mantic are gonna be releasing the Kings of War 2nd edition rulebook. Now, from what I've heard, there's not going to be an awful lot of difference to the rule set, which is going to be, very good for the gamers because they can still carry on with the games that they're playing. Going to introduce maybe a few new units from what I've heard, but okay. One thing that will be introduced is the Forces of the Abyss army list, and the models that I've seen of theirs. Ronnie himself said that he thought the succubi, as a plural, models were damn sexy, and I tell you what, actually, they are. I wouldn't mind being captured by them, but that's just me and Ronnie. There's another thing that I'm very, very interested in. Actually, there's a couple of things that I'm interested in the way that Mantic are taking Kings of War. Is they're going to do a global campaign where they're going to set up a website and they're going to have as many games as there are players, and we're going to have men versus undead versus abyssals versus dwarves versus elves, and all of this is gonna come to a head, and there's gonna be the good total, the neutral total, the evil total, and this is going to shape the world that Kings of War is based in. It's going to shape Mantica, and they're going to design the map or redesign the map around how this campaign goes, which I think is actually quite awesome. It's a good way to keep the community in the game. So, that's a good thing. The other thing that I'm really impressed with that Mr. Renton mentioned, and I've heard a few other rumours about, is the fact that there's going to be a campaign book that's coming out after the 2nd edition rulebook that allows tournament armies in Kings of War of other publishers' armies. So, for example, and I hate to mention the two in relation, but you could have a Warhammer army or a War Throne army in Kings of War. Why not? The rules were there in order to do this anyway. But I think this book now is going to be there more so to facilitate literally anyone who has an army already that wants to get into Kings of War can literally just pick up the book and go, yeah, I can play it. And quite frankly, I think they should be able to, because it is a fantastic system. It's not complicated and it's not difficult to get into, but there is a huge amount of tactics involved. My daughter, who is 12, she'll be 13 in September, she has a Basilian army. I have an undead army, and every now and then she's surprising me with tactics. Now, if a 13-year-old can come up with superior tactics in this game, it doesn't mean that this game is a bad one or that it's simple. It just means that anyone can play it. And quite frankly, if Mantic can get that to the community, then they're onto a winner. Now, the second thing that I was going to talk about was their dungeon crawler, which is called Dungeon Saga. Can I begin by saying that the first experience that I had of an RPG was Warhammer Quest, and I just loved the idea of trying to be the character, seeing them grow. I love the whole tile system of the dungeons in Warhammer Quest, but it was the whole sort of RPG element of living the character, and it was the whole sort of board game, war game crossover, plus the downtime sort of thing as well, that I thought was just, this is brilliant. It kind of supersedes a board game. And this is how I see Dungeon Saga. Dungeon Saga is Mantic's dungeon crawler. I'll link you to the video that Ronnie Renton had with Beast of War. It was pretty much describing Dungeon Saga, but from what he said and from what I've seen already, it's already going to be a classic. I can't wait to get my hands on it, just because of the fact that I know it's going to take me back to Warhammer Quest, and I don't like comparing different companies' games to other ones, but I have to say, Warhammer Quest is quite possibly the best game that, aside from Necromunda, actually, is the best game that Games Workshop ever made. And Mantic, if your Dungeon Saga even comes even close to Warhammer Quest, well, you've got a fan in my book. I'm a fan anyway, but I will be up in Nottingham licking your doors in fandom. So I can't wait to get a copy of Dungeon Saga. It looks absolutely fantastic. It comes in a what looks like a leather-bound book as a box. You've got plastic furniture, you've got plastic miniatures out of the box, you've got your dice, you've got your tiles for your dungeon, you've got your stat cards. It looks absolutely fantastic, and anybody who's into a sort of fantasy, D&D sort of thing, I'd really, really recommend that they look into it. And there was I seem to remember Mantic did a short-lived sci-fi version called Project Pandora, but that's not around anymore, which is a damn shame, because that was quite interesting as well, and I really wish I could have got my hands on that as well. But anyway, Dungeon Saga, it's going to be out pretty soon. It's going to be awesome. It's going to cross over into Kings of War, and Kings of War is going to be epic. So keep an eye out, and hopefully we can make it as best as it can be, because after all, it's built on the community and the community builds it. So all we can do is just keep supporting it. I know I will be. So let me know what you think. And that's me done. So I'll speak to you later. Bye.